Another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Hey, Anthony Trawick.
All right, and here we go. We were going to run a live show just a moment ago, and if anybody was trying to tune in, we found out that didn't work because we're apparently banned on Facebook, on our Facebook page. So
is your personal page. You can't live stream.
Wait, is it not going there either?
Nope. Hey, do me a favor. Stop this one. Do you still have access to mine? That's pretty cool.
All right, let's see if we're good. Let's see if we're live.
Try this again.
Yep. Let's try this again. All right. Howdy Ween, Lady Della. Thank you for hopping in. Thank you for your patience. We are working on this. This is so frustrating. Copy link address and share. And we'll try this again. Delete that one. Chat disabled? Chat disabled where? Puddin said the chat is disabled? Shouldn't be disabled.
On what?
Okay. Appreciate y'all's patience. We are damage control right now. We are on damage control. All right, here we go. Post there, post there. Announcements. There we go. I'll delete that one. There we go. I think we got it. We got it. Delete, delete, delete. Yes, delete that one. All right, we are good to go, guys. Whew, this has been a pain in the butt. Okay. All right, so yes, I had to go back. D-Live's working great, fortunately. Okay. Thank you, Krista, for figuring it out. We are just discovering that we are no longer allowed to post YouTube live streams on Facebook. Sorry, no longer allowed to go live on Facebook. No notifications, no warnings, no reason why, nothing. Just, oh, by the way, you can't post until November 29th. So y'all make sure you're following us over on either DLive or YouTube. And we'll go from there. So let's not let us get us down. We'll go ahead and get started. Now, I would really count on and appreciate if you guys would share the shit out of this, because that's probably about the only way we're going to get a number of people in here to watch the show. That would be awesome if you guys could.
This sucks because this was going to be a good show tonight. You know, I mean, not to say that all the others
it's still going to be a good show. Fuck them. We're still making a good show, and we're going to make a good show no matter where we're at.
I think what kind of bothers me with this whole situation is the fact that we received no notification at all. Nothing.
That's all right. That's all right.
I mean, for a repeat offender such as myself that spends a lot of time in Facebook jail, I get notifications for this kind of stuff.
All right. So
that's fucked up.
Welcome back to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. Everywhere except Facebook. My name is Daniel Wagner.
So I'm Anthony Trawick.
And we are here today.
Skelebaner.
We've got a few things to discuss about. Yes, you done ruined the whole stick already.
I didn't do it, dude. I was trying to look. I'm just trying to make sure that people get access to us on all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But apparently Facebook says, no, douchebags. We're going to keep you off of there until after the election. It doesn't surprise me. So.
Okay, so let's go on to our first topic of the night. You had mentioned something to me that sounded like a really cool topic, and it's this idea of the value of friendship. Like, what do we even have friends for, especially around times like now, like pre and post election? The whole just everybody's like all up in arms and like pissed off and like
Yeah.
shutting people out and closing people down and unfriending people on Facebook because they disagree with them, and it's like, oh my god, you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I've never seen it this out of control before. I mean, I know in past elections, you get a little tiffy about things, but man, this one has really divided, and like friends. I'm not even talking about race. I'm talking about just friendships. It is really, I mean, people that have been friends for a very, very long time are no longer speaking to each other based off of the person that they're choosing to vote for, this election cycle. So it's just, it makes you kind of wonder if they were actually even friends to begin with. Like, what was their motive the whole time that you were friends with them? And it kind of raises some red flags. It's like, was this person of any value to your life whatsoever? And it seems to me that they're not, based off your political beliefs.
right. That's what Krista's saying on YouTube. She says, then you weren't my friend in the first place. And that's kind of how I feel about it. And I think, honestly, there's a number of issues that families and friends, they just don't talk about. Right. And they're just perfectly happy remaining, this very shallow, discussing the weather and how's your health and, how's the kids, just little like stuff that's not really that deep.
Right.
I'm
talking about friends that are actually have been friends for a long time. I'm not talking about just your social norms of interacting with this person at a school function or, just out in public. I'm talking about real friends. That's what I'm saying.
How do you even determine whether or not you have real friends if you can't have these kind of conversations?
Well, I don't know.
It's like, it tells me if you have not been able, and just now, in light of exposing whatever your principles and beliefs, and God forbid who you're voting for,
right.
If that's enough to wreck your friendship, then you obviously have had a problem from the get-go, but you were just trying to actively avoid it because you knew deep down that was going to be an issue, and you didn't want to ruin a friendship, or you didn't want to alienate your friends. You don't want to piss people off. I just want to go along to get along. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I had made a post on Facebook that got quite the reaction. This has been a little over a week ago. And basically, I told, the extreme liberals to fuck off.
Yeah.
Socialism and all that if you're behind that and you back socialism, I don't want anything to do with you, whether you're a friends of mine or family. Now, where does that come from? It comes from the fact of that is the direction in which you want to send this country. I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about future generations when it comes to our children. Mm-hmm. We've talked to people from socialist countries such as Venezuela and and Cuba, obviously with Enrique Tarrio, people that have actually seen this firsthand and know the direction that this country's going in, whether it's Trump or not. It's the value of keeping this country in the direction that it's going, that it needs to go, and not fall into the depths of hell that is socialism. And you have a lot of people running for office right now that want that, that believe in this. And it's like, do you people even grasp the concept of what inflation was going to look like, when you're 200% when it comes to your groceries and for, a gallon of milk in Cuba? I mean, that was something that Enrique Tarrio that, had talked to us about. But it's just, it boggles my mind that people could even wrap their heads around wanting to support such a behavior or a way of life. And it's something I've never quite understood, so, but yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we just covered all my thoughts on that.
Or you were just ignoring me and didn't listen to anything I had to say.
No, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to get us shared out.
No, man, I just, I think that I don't know if it's really the political climate, if it's the racial I mean, I don't know if it's everything kind of balled up, tensions are just high.
It's a lot of everything.
Dude,
it's a lot of everything.
It really seems like that the older I get and the further we go into election cycles, it's progressively getting worse.
And every single election cycle, it does
worse.
Get worse. And every single one, it gets worse. And the stakes get higher. And people are like, this is the election to end all elections. And this is the one that's going to... And it's like, dude, does anybody ever stop and think, why would an election have this much power over my life? Like, why should it have this much effect over my friendships, over my family, over my relationships?
Because I think people have depended on their emotions rather than their thought process. Mm-hmm. Like, they've kind of flip-flopped. where they kind of drive everything they do now strictly based off emotions. They don't drive their thought process first before they have an emotional reaction. And that's something I've seen this. I mean, this is plain as day, dude. The way you see liberals react the way that they do with the screaming and the crying and the videos that you've seen on social media where they're just losing their shit. And I'm like thinking, what is wrong with you? At what point in your life did things go so south?
Well, I wouldn't
that you had to act this way?
And in their defense, honestly, I wouldn't say anything's wrong with them. It's just they've been preconditioned.
Come on.
Think about this. They're preconditioned.
You think that's normal?
No, it's not normal, but I don't think there's anything wrong with them per se, insofar as they're already, they're being preconditioned for all this. They're being constantly fed this narrative that we are all going to die at the hands of the fascist Donald Trump. He's a racist. Right. He's trying to like put all the gays back in the closet. He's trying to shut down all the black people. He's trying to send all the Mexicans
back to Mexico.
If I honestly believe that that's what's happening, I would be like shocked. My fellow Americans, they're voting for this guy. How can they not see what a monster this guy is? I'd be like at my wit's end, freaking out, like pissed off. Like how can you guys not see this? Because that's all they see. That's all that they're fed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that, public education's gotten a hold of them and not necessarily taught them how to critically think,
So do you think this is a generational problem?
I think it's honestly, I think it's more of just a general, it's a number of factors. It's public education.
Right.
It's a corrupt media that's, incredibly biased.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
It's our corrupt politicians and government. Mm-hmm. It's a factor of single parent households, namely single mother households, where the kids don't know how to struggle. They're if the dad's not there. I was just talking about this with my neighbor earlier today. We were talking about how one of the biggest issues why this younger generation is so fucking soft is because he was talking about this situation where his daughter, when she was 4 years old, she was he'd be up on the roof 40 feet in the air working on some shit. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know is his daughter's behind him and his wife's down on the ground freaking out. Oh my God, get down from there! Look, hey, she's right behind you, and he's looking like, she's up here. Yeah, it's cool. She's fine. It's cool.
Right.
That's dad's role in people's life. That's father's role. Father's role is to encourage the kids to take those risks, to toughen them up, to make them strong for the world, to temper them for the challenges that are to come. And mother's role is to protect them and keep them safe and worry about them. And these are both beautiful things, except when you have only a mother,
you remove the other side of that equation.
When people don't have fathers growing up, when the fatherlessness rate is increasing as we go forward, it's no wonder you see a weakening in society overall.
Right.
So I think it's a number of things, and I think that's on the top of the list.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't necessarily blame those people that are making these videos screaming into the camera. Oh my God, I can't believe this fucking Donald Trump.
We're talking about people actually screaming.
Not I know. It's because they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to cope with real problems and real struggles.
But here's
and real
the thing:
issues.
is that I was taught early on in life that life is going to kick your ass. It is going to beat you to an oblivion. But you have got to know to dust yourself off, stand back up, and you got to keep pushing forward. And
for the vast majority of your life, you had a father figure of some sort, didn't you not?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
No?
Remember, my dad was out of the picture.
Yeah, I knew that
for 20-something years.
When did Jim come in?
Jim didn't come into my life until it's been 13 years. Jim passed away. Let's see, a year and a half ago. So about 12 years of my life.
Now do
only later in my life that he was a part of it.
Yeah, now do understand there are exceptions to the rule as with everything, but I'm just talking about general trends of things that kind of things that you notice that there is specific roles that a mother and a father plays in your life, and when you got if you don't have the father figure. On the whole, you're probably going to tend not to have those kinds of lessons being taught.
Well, my mom is more of your old school Italian. She's more of the, she's going to tell you like it is kind of personality. She's going to tell you, get your ass up, go to work, don't come home until you got a job kind of mentality. She's a loving parent, don't get me wrong, but she's very much the old school Italian, just very rough around the edges. She has no filter, and I've kind of modeled my behavior kind of after her, but because of her being that way has forced me in a position to where when I've been faced with life's challenges, I've realized nothing is for free.
Yeah.
You got to work your ass off to get where to where you want to be. And even then, life is still going to throw obstacles at you and curveballs.
Yeah.
You just have to condition yourself, like you were saying, to be able to process those things without losing your shit in the process.
Now, imagine growing up where everything's handed to you. Everything is it's free. You kind of you got to think about this socialist mindset where everything's given to you. You never want for anything. Mommy's always taking care of everything. Daddy's always taking care of everything. And then when you actually face the real world where you actually hit a brick wall for the first time in your life and you don't know how to handle it because your parents have sheltered you so hard, so much, like that's gotta be a hell of a...
But is that a generational thing though, or is that individual?
I think it's an issue that's always been there, but there used to be a word for it, for the spoiled kids. You could tell the spoiled kids when they sit there and were given everything, and then when real life hit them, you could tell they could not handle it. They didn't know what to do.
Whereas, so it's more or less it's a parenting model behavior.
I think so. I think so. And over time, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. When you got kids, like I said, you got to like challenge them little by little and slowly increase their load. How much can you handle? How much
I can handle?
How much pressure can you? How much pressure can you handle?
Yeah. No, I kind of wanted your thoughts on like, have you seen this with your friends? Have you seen that through your interactions on socials or no?
Honestly, no.
No, I have.
No, I haven't.
But,
well, you see, and I think my people have always known where I'm at. I'm pretty outspoken, and the kind of people I surround myself with are people that are going to be more open-minded. I have a wide range of friends who already know where I'm at on things.
Right. And
love me for it, or whatever. If they hate me for it, they're not my friend in the first place. So I haven't really seen the overwhelming reaction of people like getting pissed off and like they're totally shocked at what I believe. Now the problem is when you have people that are kind of silent about it, don't say anything about it, and then all of a sudden
they just up and ghost.
They're open about it. All of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I never knew you were a Trump supporter. Oh my God, you're a Bernie supporter. Oh my God, you like Biden? Like, I had no idea.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I and for some people, because they've kind of kept their politics and their personal philosophies and their personal beliefs under wraps and kind of, maintain this kind of professional facade of the good citizen who just pays his taxes and does his duty and goes to work and raises his kids, all of a sudden people are like surprised by this. And I lay that blame at the feet of the people that, didn't surround themselves with people that they knew would stick around with them no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And, short of doing some kind of egregious, actual act or breaking murdering somebody, raping somebody, short of that, I know you're going to be my friend no matter what, even if I change my mind to some other weird shit, you'll be like, how'd you get on this? And you'll be curious about it. Not aghast at it. You won't be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. Oh my God. So speaking of being offended, if you have nothing to add to this particular topic, we'll roll right into the next thing. So before we get on to the next topic, I want to
hello.
Have a Forbisimist. Yeah, let's get a couple comments before we do Forbisimist. So, Chris,
go on up a little bit. I know we probably missed quite a bit.
Yeah, Krista, I appreciate all the interaction. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
We have a small audience, but it's a very, very active one, and I really love it. So let's see, Krista. She's been rather active. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, she says, I try to have a filter. Silly Red said, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. You don't know how many times I heard that coming up. Thanks, Mom. My parents taught me the best lesson by not hiding their stupid decisions from me. They taught me that when you F up, you got to fix it up. Yeah, that's damn right. You see, that's what parents are for, man. They're role models, but they're also lessons to be learned,
But that's just it about life. All the way up until the day that you die, you're constantly learning something.
Right.
Life is nothing but a
that was like, for example, one of the things that I learned from my parents was how to manage or not get into a bunch of debt, because they made the mistake when they were younger, got in a bunch of debt, and been dealing with the consequences ever since.
Yeah.
And I seen how much of a financial strain that put on everybody, and how much mental strain that put on, trying to borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and doing this flipping around rigmarole bullshit. And it's so frustrating. And I learned from that.
I was recently debt free about a year and a half ago. So no car payment. I mean, it's just, it's been nice. I mean, I couldn't say I'm debt free because I've got one credit card, but it's, it's paid off. But yeah, it's just, I don't owe any money or anything. So it's nice to actually get a paycheck, and it's not,
already gone before you got it, right? So, so what makes you a horrible person when you're in public? I must have missed something there, Krista. I'm sorry. I'm such a mom, and a mean mom at that. And if I see someone else's kid throwing a fit in a store, I will say something to that kid. Not like in a mean way per se, just an absolute way. Yeah, I don't know if that's your place, man. I don't know. That's takes all kinds for sure. Honestly, there's times when I feel like I kind of feel guilty for not having said something. Have you ever run into this situation where, like, I remember being at a public event in downtown Woodbury here, and everybody had their lawn chairs out, and we're all watching fireworks or something like that. And I see this kid just he's a little antsy. He's waiting on the fireworks. But you know how kids get. They just kind of get bored, and they want to move, and they squirm. And then, and Dad was like being hard, like yelling at him, sitting there spanking him right there in front of everybody. I'm like, dude, this kid, like, you almost want to go up there and just, I don't want that kid to be like, grow up later on in life. This crosses my mind. I don't want that kid to be later on in life and thinking, my dad sat there and did that shit to me in public in front of people. He treated me that way. Imagine how he treated, and I know how he treated me behind closed doors when we weren't in public.
You got the resentment.
And the resentment of the fact that nobody else stood up and did shit for me. Nobody else said or came to my defense. So fuck them. Why should I care about them? There's a lot of people that grow up that way.
I did.
Like, my parents did some bullshit to me, and nobody stepped in to say nothing.
I think that's one of the reasons why the value of a friendship means more to me now than ever, is because I've wanted to be that friend that does step up to help others. It's part of the reasons why I do so much charity work, is because there's a lot of people that won't. Yeah. For whatever the reason, financial, it almost seems like you have to have an excuse to do or be there for people now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost an inconvenience to be there as a friend. And then when you are there as a friend, they don't treat you in the best way, but I've been taught that you still do for others, no matter how much bad is done to you. And I know that's probably not a great way to think, but at the end of the day, when I lay my head down on that pillow, I rest easy knowing that I'm trying to put my best forth effort into helping people, whether it's close, friends and, people or complete strangers. So I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's like, I understand what it's like that when nobody helps you, nobody steps in, and it's a very lonely, isolated feeling. And I guess as I got older, I kind of told myself, I don't ever want to be that person that just sits back and not do anything. Yeah. Because I've had it done to me, Yeah,
so. Lady Della from YouTube, she says it's tricky when parents are spanking the kid in public. They've already shown you that they're violent, so it's dicey. Cora is offended by the man spreading. Why is your cup right in the way of the feature piece of this particular show? Like, I need to get a camera like zoomed in on that shit.
I need to slouch down so you can see this big puppy. I got a pump to go with it. Lord knows when I get older, all guys are going to have a pump. But yeah, thing is, it doesn't want to do anything.
It looks
disappointed. It works fabulously when I stand up, though. Like, when I stand up, this motherfucker does like circles and it's dancing around. I want to walk into like a Kroger or Walmart just to see the kind of reaction. I'd probably get thrown out, but I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun.
It'd be worth it.
Look at that.
All right, so
it looks like a snakehead.
What do you say we head on to the Forbisimist?
Here, you want to touch it?
No.
Flick it.
Forbisimist.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Forbisimist. Forbisimist. Forbisimist.
All right.
Touch my fucking wiener.
And today,
just touch the tip.
No.
Just touch a little bit. Just give it a tip.
Later.
Okay.
Later. Okay. So today on the Forbisimist. Wait, aren't you triggered? Aren't you supposed to be triggered?
I'm triggered as fuck, dude. Orange Man Bad.
Orange Man Bad.
Yes.
Yeah. See, now, okay. So for those of you who have not seen the Forbisimist before, the Forbisimist is the segment of the show where we tell you why you should be offended by everything.
Yep.
Forbisimist is made up of phobism and ist. It's a profession that any of you can do. If you want to come on and be a Forbisimist in training, we'll be glad to put you through a 9-week course for $19.99. Hey, that's a thing we should probably sell.
Who the fuck's gonna show up for that?
a class from 1999 to learn how to be offended by everything. So here's the deal. Listen, I got to thinking about this, and I think jack-o'-lanterns, not jack-o'-lanterns themselves are offensive.
It just reminds me of Trump, dude. I don't like that.
I understand, buddy, and it's okay because I'm a little triggered by just the orangeness of it.
I'm triggered at the fact that why don't we paint the pumpkins a different color so they don't remind you of Trump?
Now that's offensive too. I mean, you got to be really careful about what colors you paint the pumpkin. If you paint them blackface. Yeah, if you paint them brown, brown face. You can't be doing that.
Yeah,
that's not okay. So I have a huge problem with the act of carving jack-o'-lanterns. Because first of all, think about this. What are you doing with these pumpkins? You're basically putting them through a Holocaust. You're raising them up and you're killing them en masse so that you can sell them to people for profit on the capitalist society in a capitalist society, and then you're going to go and pass them out to family members so they can just stick knives in them.
And then they gut them
and massacre and gut these poor pumpkins. Like this is the Holocaust of the pumpkins.
They have feelings.
Yeah.
Pumpkin lives matter.
It's kind of bullshit. And quite frankly, I'm also offended by the people that start to carve the pumpkins, because now you're forcing your ideas on this poor defenseless gourd about what you think it should be. Like a pumpkin wants to be one thing, and then you're sitting there trying to make it another.
Right.
Like who gave you the fucking right to look at this pumpkin and say, you know what, you would look better as a face or as a famous Hollywood celebrity or whatever? Who gave you the right? You have no right whatsoever to be taking these poor defenseless gourds and trying to make them into something they're not. Silly Redhead asks, what if the pumpkins want to change? Are they trans pumpkins? Yeah. If they want to change, they are trans pumpkins. But think about this. Would you take your friend and just give them an involuntary sex change operation? No, that's ridiculous.
So, okay.
You would never do that. So why would you do it to a pumpkin? That's all I'm saying.
I'm kind of offended because we sell pumpkins almost like human trafficking. We're trafficking pumpkins.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
And then we put people's faces on them. Those real articulate ones that you see that are not articulate, but the real crafty ones where they look like celebrities. We're using pumpkins to display that.
And you know why you never see those celebrity pumpkins from the back? You know why you always see them from the front only?
What's that?
It's because there's a little hole about this big carved in the back of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You finally touched it.
All right. So back to the show. All right. So thank you for watching that. I was having a hard time keeping a straight face. Good Lord.
That just happened, folks. It sure did. Everybody take a deep breath and collect your thoughts. Moving on to the next segment.
All right. Krista says, as long as I plant the seeds, they're happy. Cora says, a pumpkin can't consent. It was rape.
I'm waiting to plant a seed. Come on now.
How am I even concentrating? It's not as easy as it looks, honestly. It really ain't, because he's been playing with this ad nauseum over here, and it's really making me want to get mine out and play with it. And that's for a whole nother channel.
Subscribe to us over on Pornhub.
All right. All right. So I'm going to head into the next segment here. We've got to talk. While we're on the Halloween theme, let's go with this one while we're on the Halloween theme. But we have this one here. Bloody Halloween display keeps bringing cops to artists' home. I freaking love this. Oh my God, I love this so much. So check this shit out. This picture. This guy. I'll read the article here in a second for those in the podcast listening audience. But basically, this guy has made like the bloodiest scene he possibly can, and neighbors keep walking by like pissed off about it, and they keep calling the cops, and the cops are like, we're cool with it. So.
Man, why do you got to be Karens, man? Just leave people alone.
Yeah, no, let people be people.
Let them celebrate Halloween if they want to celebrate Halloween.
So one Halloween enthusiast was determined to paint the town red this year with fake blood, that is, and lots of it. Unsatisfied with merely scaring kids with the old trick-or-treat standby, one Texas resident went overboard in Halloween gore, mounting a faux crime scene worthy of a particularly dark CSI episode. He successfully freaked out the nauseated East Dallas neighbors, who apparently have the police on speed dial. So artist Steven Novak deployed a dummy with a pulverized head, one garbage bag wrapped dummy, and one unlucky dummy whose noggin was nailed by a safe with 20 gallons of blood to round out the scene. I've always been up to hijinks, he said, like flying ghosts or 7-foot-tall snow sculptures of myself. So I was going to do Halloween. It was obvious that it should be hyper real. No lights, fog machine, or camp. Just something that would really freak people out by walking by in the dark. So I whipped up some dummies and slung 20 gallons of blood all over.
That's
this
great.
is awesome. So the ghoulish Novak, who's not winning any points for child sensitivity, added, quote, I'm the most proud of the wheelbarrow tipped over by the street full of hefty bags looking like a failed attempt to dispose of the dismembered bodies in the middle of the night, he said. A kid walked by and asked me what happened to them. I said they ate too many Skittles.
Holy shit.
This sounds like me, 100%. His rendition of a haunted house on steroids has earned him a few new fans. The approving Dallas Police Department. Neighbors told me the cop cars were in front of my house a lot during the day, he told the Observer. I was only home twice to receive them. They told me they thought it was cool and that they were only there because they were required to reply to complaints from the sergeant.
Jesus. Why do people got to ruin holidays?
That's so awesome. I love it. I love it. This is the kind of thing that I have always wanted to do, and always I love decorating and stuff when I have the time. Let me pull up the chat. So yeah. So kudos to that dude. Way to go. I love it. I'd like to see what he does. Bring it on more.
Okay.
All right. So. And we've got a couple
Y'all
more
are going to have some OnlyFans soon.
It might be the only way to make it through this, or start actually getting some more support for the show. By the way, if you guys want to support us, we do have
stickers too.
We do have a subscribe star. You guys can help support us for a monthly donation, and we've also got these stickers.
$5.
There are our Survivor 2020 coronavirus stickers that we've got, and send us your name and info for your Cash App. And
we'll send it to you.
We'll send out those stickers for you. Yeah, $5 each.
And the subscribe star starts off at $3, goes all the way up to $250.
Yeah.
And we all know it gets you at $250.
Yeah, at $250, Anthony will take it up the butt.
There you go.
That he has said that.
As long as it ain't this big.
But, yeah. Please do not be that big. That's just unacceptable. All right, so we're going to move on to the Mayor Cooper story here. We got Mayor Cooper.
Oh God, this is the article that I shared from the
This thing cracked me up. So Mayor Cooper's Policing Policies Commission says crime isn't criminals' fault. Need to minimize the police. It's hilarious.
Oh, man. This is the idiots that want to send social workers to domestic disputes that are going on at homes.
And this is the dumbass that sit there this is the dumbass that we just found out recently, according to, Chase Matheson was all about this, blowing it up, made Nashville asshole of the year, Nashville's asshole of the year with Mayor Cooper's face on it, because they sit there and was keeping the numbers down, the numbers of people who were affected by COVID in the bars and restaurants, and they kept those numbers hidden, and they were actually really low numbers, and there was no reason to keep everybody closed for as long as they did. So people are pretty pissed off at Mayor Cooper right now, or Caterpillar Brows as they call him. So during a meeting last week, Mayor John Cooper's Policing Policies Commission, the PCC, indicated all aims to diminish police and stated that criminals aren't entirely at fault for their crimes. Okay. So this is just interesting because I have a feeling where this is going.
Yeah.
And I have not read this article yet, but I was intrigued by the headline. So Gideon's Army founder and CEO Rashid Fatuga was the main guest speaker, vice chair. Who nobody cares about that. So, all right.
I'm glad you can read it.
So Gideon's Army is an organization that seeks to eliminate the root cause of the prison pipeline for troubled use. Control plus.
There we go.
There we go. All right, prison pipeline for troubled use. The organization assisted in recovery efforts after the tornado hit Nashville this spring. Gideon's Army was also involved in Black Lives Matter Nashville rally turned riot following George Floyd's death. All right. During her speech, Fatuga asserted the police aren't qualified for some of the aspects of policing. Metro police officers are doing jobs that they're not qualified for. It's not on their job description. Metro police officers aren't mental health workers, They're not really first responders, like in the way that we would think. The way that their job is, it can also really increase the risk for mental health issues. There are a lot of issues that arise with the way we do policing in America. Even with the police chief, we're still dealing with systematic oppression that's national. Okay, this person does not receive bonus points for being eloquent in speech. This is a very weird way of talking. So Fatuga also argued that social determinants of health serve, there's an acronym for that, SDOH, social determinants of health, serve as the main cause for crime. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, SDOH are economics, education, healthcare, environment, and community. And then there's the issue of being lack of social determinants of health in natural communities that are handled by criminalizing people who are unhealthy or people who are in unhealthy communities. I'm still trying to figure out how it's not their fault.
I know.
Or why are criminals not responsible for crimes? So these are some of the issues we see. Yet some of the issues, and it's weird because it's just like kind of vague, like sounds like you're making a point, but you're not really making a point.
It's just a bunch of words you threw together and you made an article.
And it's like we're using some official terms and acronyms, and people are like, yeah, that sounds
smart.
That sounds legit.
There's no substance behind anything.
I'm not seeing the actual lay out the argument for me. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, and final thesis of the criminals aren't responsible for crime. Like let's end with that and figure out how we got there. All right, so following those remarks, Fatuga made conclusions that the current policing systems aren't effective in preventing crimes. Well, that's not what the police are for. But in a free society, they would be. That would be the police's role, is in crime prevention. And they would be paid based on how much crime they prevented. Or penalized based on how much crime was actually, caused on their watch. All right, the U.S. criminal justice system has oppressed black Americans for more years than it has protected them, wrote Cooper. It continues to punish African Americans and people of color at disproportionate rates and in severe ways. Black men are more than twice as likely to be killed in an encounter with police as white men. Where do we get that statistic? Because that statistic is absolutely false.
Nope, that is incorrect.
That is absolutely a false statistic. And it really pisses me off because I think in last year I think it was 9. Wasn't that the number? 9 African American men or African Americans, period, were killed at the hands of police officers. And I won't
put out numbers unless I have them in front of me because I could always get you in trouble.
It was a really low number. It was like single digits number, really low. And we're talking nationwide.
Actually,
and we're talking out of those
more black people, not just men, are killed by the hands of black officers than white officers, believe it or not.
Now that's also true. Yeah, I know that as well.
Yeah.
But it's like you take like this little tiny statistic and you just say it like it's true, and people are like, yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Now I'm pissed. And now everything I thought about the police is like, dude, you got to... Yeah. All right, so the mayor is also relying on PCC's work to select the next chief of police. The previous chief, Steve Anderson, retired in an expedited fashion at the beginning of August. Okay, this guy, he's got to go. I have a feeling he will not make it very long.
No, he won't. No.
He will not make it very long at all.
Nope.
All right. You ready to go on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, so more whites were killed by cops than blacks last year.
Yep.
Yep.
It's funny how people want to run with that statistic and people actually believe it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, nobody is wanting to do the research. And then you give them the research and you tell them that they're wrong. It's like, oh my God, no, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I like what Lady Della says. She says, I agree. A healthy dose of accountability and responsibility will also help a lot.
There's a lot of lack thereof.
And it's like, yeah, duh. Like, for those of us who grew up and have some responsibility and understand the value of responsibility and taking... being accountable, held accountable for your actions.
Yeah.
It's obvious to us. Like, we know it. But if you've never been held accountable and you're always being, told, oh, you're just a victim, this isn't your fault, the bad things you do in society, it's okay, buddy. You didn't, it was society, it was the way you grew up, it was the education you had, which might be kind of true to a point. But at some point, that person is responsible for their actions. At some point, that person has agency to make decisions on their own. Mm-hmm. And at some point, they need to be held accountable for those decisions.
And then when they are held accountable, well, it's not my fault.
Yeah, and if they're held accountable, and the
subject we just discussed.
Yeah, and if the stats end up showing that black men are held accountable at or whatever. You end up with these statistics showing that, the system is racist because, black men commit more crime on average. Well, they do. But also, if you normalize for IQ of the same IQ range, it balances out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
regardless of
pans out,
whatever color you are.
Yeah.
You know, if when you normalize by IQ, people within the like mid 80s and lower tend to be more in the criminality range.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before.
We have multiple times actually.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something that needs it bears repeating. You know, you just if you're too low in IQ, you can't really figure out how to commit crimes. You're kind of too dumb. If your IQ is high, you tend to be smart enough to figure out how to do shit on your own. You don't have to commit crimes, or you're smart enough to figure out how to get away with it so you don't get caught. But there's that middle ground, that middle median of criminality. That regardless of what your race is, if you fall within that range, criminality is higher.
Yeah, but if we so much just try to tell people that like we have before in the past, well, you're calling people stupid. Actually, yeah, we are. Because they're making stupid decisions, because their IQ level is not the greatest, and it's just a part of our society. That's why we do have an IQ level. So.
All right, so silly redhead. She says, I'm a victim of redhead prejudice. My freckles are not people's souls. I demand reparations. Listen, lady, if you don't give back every goddamn one of those freckles to society, you ain't fit to get no reparations, okay?
I'm just kind of thinking about those freckles.
I like freckles.
Yeah.
Freckles are kind of hot.
Yeah, they are.
No, seriously, if you touched them, they're actually really hot.
Oh.
Like, I burnt my fingers on a redhead's freckles once.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyways.
True. We don't do fake news here. That's true, 100%.
Lil Wayne meets with Trump.
All right, so we got a next story. Lil Wayne meets with Trump, co-signs platinum plan for the black community.
Now, have you actually heard about what Ice Cube was wanting to do?
No.
Pull that up on YouTube. Pull it up on YouTube with CNN. The interview that CNN did with Ice Cube. Pull that up. And I want you to watch it.
Well, you're going to have to fill some space while I bring that up.
No, it's fine. It just kind of goes back to the black community and Donald Trump, and of course everybody thinking that Trump is a racist. And that's
I did hear that.
And it's like now you're seeing that Lil Wayne is wanting to deal with Trump. It's really starting to throw the narrative. Yeah, that first one. It's really starting to throw this narrative out the window, and then people really don't know what to expect. So play that first.
This is a 10-minute clip.
It's worth it, but if I'd like to show it to people that haven't seen it, only because, it just, to me, it's
our
important
next
to
guest
show.
is Ice Cube. If you know anything about him,
and we need to get something for our vote. That may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I look. If I had brought...
Wow, if that wasn't the philosophical line of the century.
Well,
nothing changes if nothing changes.
But you're really missing a whole lot of this because he actually accused him of supporting Trump when he didn't say that. That's why you really got to watch the whole video.
Yeah, it would be better if we had this prepared ahead of time so I could have brought up a clip and had a timestamp. That's...
But it kind of falls in line
helpful.
with... It kind of falls in line with Lil Wayne and what's
All
going
right,
on.
So the story on Lil Wayne, before we miss
Lady
that
Della
thread
says,
is...
yes, play it, Daniel.
Huh?
Lady Della said yes.
I'm not playing all 10 minutes. Plus, I can't really play clips like that for that long or we'll get dinged.
They said, hey, post the link.
Okay. Well, look it up. Go to YouTube, look up Lil Wayne, or Ice Cube, Trump, CNN. It's the first link that pops up.
Yep.
So a day after the New Orleans rapper announcing having a great meeting with the president, Trump said the discussion went very well. He also described Wayne as a nice guy and even went so far as to label him as an activist. Well, he wanted a meeting. He's a really nice guy, Trump told reporters Friday. He's really an activist in a very positive way and asked for a meeting, and we had the meeting. And as you saw, the meeting went very well. So the question was, why did you meet with him? And Trump said, well, he wanted a meeting. He's a really nice guy. He's really an activist in a very positive way. Why am I reading the same thing again? Okay. So Lil Wayne actually received backlash on Thursday after sharing a few positive words on President Donald Trump because Lord knows Donald Trump is 100% evil and has zero redeeming qualities, cannot be good whatsoever, or we risk shattering the facade. So the Young Money boss shared a Twitter photo of him standing next to POTUS while giving him the thumbs up sign. I'm pretty sure the thumbs up sign is racist now, isn't it? I know the okay sign is.
The okay is.
Yeah.
It's white power. Thumbs up. I don't know.
That's got to be offensive to somebody if racist
sure
is all
it
get
is.
out for sure.
Yeah.
It's got to be some kind of like Illuminati sign or something. I don't know. Anyway, Weezy claimed he just had a great meeting with Trump about his administration's plan to help the black community. Wayne praised Trump's work on criminal justice reform and highlighted the so-called Platinum Plan, an Ice Cube-assisted initiative that will purportedly put billions of dollars into black communities. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. Wayne captioned the photo, he listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done.
And Trump is a doer. You know, he gets shit done. So if he's given 4 more years, expect something to happen with this. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, see, that's funny because, you know, you want, like, this is what drives me nuts, because you see a black rapper or some kind of a celebrity coming out with an opinion that goes against the mainstream narrative. And then everybody's like, oh, well, this is an Uncle Tom. You know, all black people are supposed to think the same and they're not supposed to have their own opinions.
But we're trying to bring the country back together.
Yeah. You're clearly a race hater if you support Trump or even have anything positive. You don't even have to support Trump.
So wait a minute. You want to bring the country together, but yet the first time we try to do that, we try to reach across the aisle. Oh, you're an Uncle Tom and... you know, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're this, you're that. And I'm thinking, what part of did you want to bring the country together was true? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
I just got called a nerd on my own YouTube stream.
What?
Krista said, I'm on YouTube, you nerd. Because I told him where to search for the link.
Well, I mean, you are a nerd, believe it or not.
But
you're like the dad joke guy. I mean, you tell dad jokes. You're a nerd. I mean, you're a good dude, but some things you just have to learn to accept, and it's okay. I love you for it, though. Mm-hmm. That's why we're friends. Mm-hmm. Are you offended?
I'm offended. I just can't, Anthony.
It's okay.
I can't.
Here, you want to pat him again?
Okay.
There you go, right there. Okay.
There you go, buddy.
All right.
All right. So let's go back. All right. So it's coming around to 9 o'clock. I think we've covered all of our general topics for the night, even though we had some technical difficulties. So it's going to be more important than ever for folks to sign up for us on our YouTube channel and catch those links, at least for the next month. It appears we're not allowed to post on YouTube, like, at all. I'm going to have to check it out later and see if I'm actually allowed to make general posts, but... apparently we're shut down, so make sure.
And this time it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, do me a favor, please share it out. Tell your friends about us. We count on you guys like big time to spread the word about our channel
or legs, whatever works.
Yes, and if you enjoy, I mean, honestly, if you enjoy the show, I mean, it's the least you guys could do to help us out to tell people about us.
And look, we know the content we cover, especially like tonight. I'm over here playing with this blow up dick.
It's a phallus. It's a phallus.
I know you guys aren't going to want to show this on your Facebook page or whatever, so I'll try to maybe clean it up a little bit from here on out so it's more shareable for you guys. But I kind of feel like if I do that, then I take away from the original, Anthony.
Yeah, right. So Cora asked, where can I find the Zoom link early? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we do a private group member only Zoom call every Friday after the show. Anthony Long Duck Dong Trawick. Krista is not scared. See, this is why these are the kind of people that I want anyway. I want people that aren't scared of a grown man playing with a skeleton penis. Awesome. All right. So anyway, we
have fun with life. Dude.
Absolutely. We have to. So we do a Zoom call, private Zoom call for group members only, and I post that currently in 3 locations. Now it looks like I was going to wait until the end of the year to stop posting it on Facebook, but from this point forward, I am only going to be posting that link on our Discord page and on our Telegram page. So if you guys are not following us on either one, you can head over to unframeofmind.com and click the Find Us On link.
We just need to walk away from Facebook.
All of our links are there. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time, especially
they didn't even tell us.
Especially the latest stuff that came out about them shutting down the New York Post and any talk about Hunter Biden and the Biden family and the corruption. It's almost like they're going, you know what? We're taking the risk. We're going to shut it all down. We'll talk about this after the election. We'll solve this later. We'll allow people to talk about it then. But it's almost like they got to wait till after the election because
Yeah, we
there's
just got
already
shut
been
down
deals
before the election.
There's already been deals made between Zuckerberg and the Bidens. There's already been deals made. I'm
glad I'm spending more time over on Minds anyways.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, so make sure you follow us on our Discord and on our Telegram, and I will be posting those links as soon as we get off here tonight. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. I really, really I prefer actually talking to you guys face to face. Texting takes so long to make a full argument. And our conversations on there are so much fun that sometimes I wish we would record them and post them as their own podcast because it's freaking hilarious. And
it's real.
We're all
I love it.
we're all full of like highbrow ideas and lowbrow packaging. Lots of dirty minds, lots of smart people, lots of people not getting offended by jack shit. It's so much fun. So look forward to seeing you there. You guys have been watching another episode of the Unframe of Mind show where we've had yet another uncomfortable conversation without a condom. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Ooh,
and we'll see